When she first came, right, she was more like this. So when I evaluated the pelvis, right, so what I was feeling like on the left side, I could get a bit more here and a little bit of a tilt, but I still was not seeing where, per se, the foot was going here. Do you mean where it wasn't countering? So especially going in, I couldn't get past this. And with both ankles, her ankles were more like this. So that's how the feet were presenting and all of that. So when she went to roll over, what has to happen when the feet stay like this is, see, there's a lift because nothing's given. So at this point, and so with the ankle the way it was here, for her to roll over this way, she would literally have to get all the way around that ankle. That's how much that chest cavity would have to bend to get around that ankle. So that's why she wasn't rolling over. And even here now, my rate of counter on my head would have been so hard to reach over. Or what she would eventually possibly learn to do is do this, where she'd bring her feet up, she'd fall into a rollover, but now she'd be stuck because her legs are here and she can't get anywhere. So what started to happen with her is more so as I worked with the pelvis and started getting this to go. And now with this to go, look at already the impact it has even with the feet, with me not even touching them, of going into the, and so now the feet were starting to play with this. And then you started seeing a bit more of this with her. And also what I liked is she was doing a bit more, now she was starting to cross that midline with her feet and playing kind of thing, because it was freeing all of that up. So now this is where more so the thrust happened on the right, but with the right goes long, you can get that thrust out. And now it's a lot more of a rollover kind of thing versus, you know what I mean, and doing that kind of thing. So I think you'll see a lot more where she won't be as, like here, people look at her, especially like for here where you're in my sight, but maybe I can't get to you, and that's very, like, I'm grumpy. I want to interact with you, but I can't.
She arches a lot to try to see things.
Yeah, but then again, that's that counter, that she's doing this to get her eyes here versus being able to do this.
Yeah.
See, the counter should come through the pelvis and then through the eyes. But when they don't have that rotation, they're smart and they'll figure all these different things to go. And then at some point, again, I'm going to get stuck either because of my clothes, my blanket, because I just can't, you know, I'm not agile enough. Now, if her feet were more agile, you'd start seeing this kind of scoop. But
She also doesn't roll from her stomach to her back. She's only done it a couple of times, which is, that's supposed to come first. So I was
well,
wondering.
like I said, we'll see how this week goes. I think you'll see a big difference in all of that. So when she's here now, though, but what I was doing was, so before she would kind of do this to look at something. So when Stuart had the ball over here, what I was doing was more of this. See, in this position, my foot can come up. I can go from here to here, right? But if I had her pelvis here, I can't come down. I can't even see grandma from here. You know what I mean? So the more the rotations in the babies, the more they can get around to see everybody and do things. So even there'll be some times where the head will go down as they're trying to do all these kind of things. Not every movement is like stellar. I mean, babies do have they'll face plant, especially when they're tired. But when I'm here too, what also can start to happen is this. And my arm can come under where I can roll over and come that way to roll over. But if I'm this way, see, I can't roll over on my belly. But if I'm this way, see how my arm is free and I can come and I can roll back. Does that make sense? So, does that make sense?
So it's just like the rotation in her pelvis and the ankle. And
Pure and simple. If I can't rotate in this position, there's no way I can get up.
Yeah.
Now, as an
She is
adult,
stuck.
I can do again, there's light rotation. I can do something like this. I get it, and I can come up.
She can't.
I still can't get off this table. This is an adult function. So same thing, if I'm on my back, again, as an adult, I can crunch and go forward. A baby cannot. Without rotation, their gravity is winning. So that's why you can see with the hands, they start this, but as they can twist and rotate, you know, and get their feet up, and especially here when they start doing this, and this, and this, and then eventually they'll get up. Just with a simple rotation and transfer of weight versus all that muscle.
So one way to work with her if she's on her front is to play with that rotation of the pelvis
Yeah.
with the head.
Right, yeah, so one of the things, I get it, at 3.5 months or whatever, I'm not looking for her to sit up and start going into side sitting, but here, and if you want, I'll float everybody's head. I'm just looking for, even what I did with Magda yesterday, just that sensation of, oh, I can come over my belly and I can look up, versus the, you know, you can be here, you can be here, just that. I'm bringing up. But if I'm here, then, again, I can very easily go down. But if I'm already here, I don't necessarily want to go down, but I can't see it. So you'll see these babies, in a sense, they arch, and then they fall over that way, and then you get the head hits and all of that kind of thing going.